Hello, my name is Dr. Justin Croushore. I am the Assistant Professor of Trombone at Morehead State University and Principal Trombone with the Asheville Symphony Orchestra. This video is designed to help you prepare for your upcoming all-state audition. In this video, I'll play some examples from your repertoire and give you some specific advice to help you in your preparation. Before we begin, let's start with 2 points that we can always keep in mind. Number one, start with a great breath. Get used to that feeling of taking a full, complete, replenishing breath before you begin to play. When you get closer to the audition and the pressure's on, it's really going to help you out. And then second, do not forget, slow practice is better practice. If you're just getting started on these etudes, if you have a little bit of time, go ahead and plan on playing all of your material a little slower to make sure you do it right. It's not worth starting at the full tempo and giving yourself bad information and bad training. Start a little slower. I recommend about 80% of the full tempo. Spend a lot of time there, and you'll be amazed at how easy it is to make that jump to the full tempo. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at these etudes. Okay, first up, we're going to take a look at the etudes numbered 4 and 2. Here coming up on your all-state audition. These two come from the Bordoni and Rochou Melodious Etudes for Trombone. It's a very important book for all trombone players. These etudes are great for a lot of things, even beyond your upcoming all-state audition. So a couple things to keep in mind as we prepare these. It's a great opportunity to show off your musical style, a little bit of nuance, a little bit of musicality. It's very useful for that, but we want to make sure that the other details are in line before we go into that. So first of all, one thing I think is very important, especially when you first get started on a new etude, notice where the half steps are. There's a lot of diatonic playing in these etudes, and what I want you to do is be aware of when you're just moving the smallest interval you'll find from one key on the piano to the next. One half step or one minor second interval. Why? Trombone players very often overshoot this interval. By trying our hardest, it's easy. We're just going from 4 to 3, but it's very easy to go from 4 to 2.7 to overachieve. Be very careful, and sometimes I'll even circle 2 notes that are this close together so I don't give it too much with my embouchure or my slide. Okay, up next, I want to talk quickly about the rubato. You have a couple rallentando a tempo moments in these 2 etudes. Feel free to use them to show a little bit of your own musical ability. I took it pretty carefully. Number 13 especially, I do very little rallentando. The main thing is it still sounds like music. If somebody can just tap along, tap their foot, sing along, and then suddenly we are way different, that's not going to be beneficial for your audition or for the listener. Make any motion you do gradual. So if you want to slow down from here, do it a little bit at a time. And then if you want to speed back up, do it a little bit at a time. Don't have too much sudden aggressive change in tempo in this. It should be flowing, it should be smooth. Okay, let's talk about these grace notes. Both of these etudes have the little tiny notes, usually with a slash through them. Those are grace notes. Let's talk about how to play them. First of all, when you find a phrase with these, I'd recommend you play them without the grace notes, because that's the main part of the music. That's the thing that matters. Here's an example. This is from number 13. That's me playing a 4-measure phrase without the extra grace notes. That's the main tune, and that's what they need to hear. The grace notes are just ornaments to the note that follows. It's very easy to make the grace note too loud. The most important part? No, the most important part is everything but the grace note. So don't play it da 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 da. No, that won't work and be convincing. Da dee da da da. That's what we're looking for. Let me play that phrase with the grace notes added correctly. So on from there. And then one final comment, this is especially true in number 13 while we're looking at it. This one's in the key of E flat major. I would certainly recommend exploring alternate positions, especially that D above the staff in fourth. It can be very useful because it puts those half steps right next to each other, going up to the E flat. But also there are some instances where we have large interval leaps. Whenever you have a large interval, try putting it so the first note is further out and then the second higher note is closer in on your slide. That's very useful with that D, for example. So a phrase like this. I put the D in fourth position rather than first position, so then the next note, the high A flat, was an inward slide motion. Just a half step to, or just one slide position as well. And it makes it much easier. I much prefer to go over. It takes a little more focus and effort for me to do the latter of those two. Very good. Now let's get on and hear run-throughs of these two Bordoni etudes. Okay, let's look at the final two etudes for your upcoming All-State audition. These come from the Tyrell 40 Etudes book, and they're designed to be a technical challenge. The first two etudes I played for you are more designed to show off beautiful tone, musical expression, things like that. Whereas you can still get those ideas in this music as well. It's more about showing how cleanly and accurately you can play. So where does that start on this instrument? It starts with the slide. Put the rhythm in the slide. Don't be afraid to take a little extra time to make sure it's actually where it's supposed to be. I know I started this video mentioning the importance of slide technique, but here is definitely an example. I would take some time to practice this with air, slide, but no sound. Something like this. That way you can give your slide a little bit more focus to make sure it's really in the right place at the right time. If your slide's not right, nothing else is going to be right either. So make sure that's really accurate. Another thing I like to do when preparing more articulate etudes is make sure the air is doing what I think it's doing by taking it out of the instrument. I'm blowing the rhythm of etude number 24 onto my hand, and I'm also articulating just like I plan on doing on the trombone. This way I'm focusing on getting the air past the lips, past the tongue, onto my hand, and feeling that way, and then I try to match that on the trombone. This is a great way to make sure your tongue doesn't get too heavy or too tense or anything like that. Finally, one more comment for you is to take a little extra time to make sure the tuning is correct. These etudes are built on triads, lots of major and minor chords built into the music, and so you want to show that you know where those notes are supposed to go within the given key. More or less, that first etude is in the key of D flat major. And the second one, number 24, is more or less in the key of B minor. It goes to D major in the middle section for a little while when you see the quarter notes, and then finishes off in B minor. B minor, D major, B minor. You can go onto a website and find some tuning drones. You can also get them on Spotify, or maybe your tuner app has them. But I would highly recommend turning them on. Here's my B. Oh, I don't know if you can hear it right now, but if you're not familiar with the process of using drones in the practice room, I'd highly recommend you check it out. Just see if you can find a way to have a B playing the whole time you practice number 24, or a D flat playing the whole time you practice number 16 sometimes. And you'll be amazed at how good it is for your ear without too much work. Okay, that's enough talking about it. Let me play them for you now. Here we go. I hope this video has been useful for you. Before we conclude, I'm going to give you those same 2 reminders one more time. Always start with a great breath. Slow practice is better practice. Make sure you learn it the right way, and then add the speed. I wish you good luck in your audition. Happy practicing. Bye-bye.